In the gaming world, there are moments that define an era. For Call of Duty, one such moment arrived in November 2009 with the release of Modern Warfare 2. Little did the world know within this game lay the seeds of a competitive sniping scene that would captivate players for a decade. In the heart of Modern Warfare 2 lies a battleground unlike any other. From the rooftops to the streets, snipers carve their legacy with each precision shot. Join us as we unravel the secrets of the Modern Warfare 2 competitive sniping scene and uncover the legends who defined a decade. Quickscoping and trickshotting. These were more than just gameplay mechanics. They were the building blocks of a community united by skill, creativity, and that shared a passion for precision marksmanship. Montages became the currency of this community, each one a testament to the talent and dedication of an MW2 sniper. From rooftop kills to cross-map shots, these videos showcased the artistry and flair that defined the Modern Warfare 2 competitive sniping scene. But it wasn't just about the individual skill. Clans and teams emerged, forging bonds and rivalries that would shape the competitive landscape, and among them, some stood out above the rest: Optic, FaZe, Soar, and Dare. Now, we all know what happened to FaZe, and it would take me way too long to discuss what happened to them in this video, but Optic Gaming has a synonym with excellence, has a synonym with dominance. From their humble beginnings in the Modern Warfare 2 sniping scene to their meteoric rise to the top, Optic Gaming embodied the spirit of competitive sniping. For players like Nadeshot, Scump, Hex, Modern Warfare 2 was more than just a game. It was a proving ground, a crucible where friendships were forged and legends were born. And through it all, Optic Gaming remained at the forefront, leading the charge with skill, strategy, and sheer determination. Now, later in this video, we are going to be discussing an underrated team in the competitive sniping scene that stood out among the rest by sheer dominance. And that team is called Raw Material. The competitive sniping scene was unlike anything modern gaming has to offer. I still remember sprinting home after school to be able to get on Modern Warfare 2 as quickly as possible to play with my clan members. This game had me hooked, but it wasn't just the game, it was specifically competitive sniping. Competitive sniping wasn't a game mode or something you could just get on the game and hit play. It was an organized subculture of obsessed quickscopers trying to climb their way to the top, and I was one of them. But before we go any further, let me explain what competitive sniping is. Competitive sniping is a quickscoping 4v4 clan match. You are not able to hardscope or use any equipment, only quickscoping. The game modes you can play are Headquarters, Capture the Flag, or Demolition, but mainly everyone played Headquarters or Capture the Flag, and if you did play Demolition, it was most likely because your team probably wasn't very good and wanted to try to get an edge on the competition by playing a game mode other teams usually don't practice. You also could only play on maps that came with the game. DLC maps were not allowed. The perks you had to use were either Sleight of Hand or Marathon, Stopping Power, and Ninja. Sleight of Hand allowed you to zoom in through the scope a lot quicker, where Marathon was a little bit slower, but you were able to run longer distances. And boom, that's competitive sniping in a nutshell. Now, you're probably asking, Patrick, why would anyone care about this? It's just quickscoping. I can join a free-for-all game mode right now and quickscope. And technically, you'd be correct. But the competitive sniping scene was structured and organized, well, to some degree. You see, there was a YouTube channel called Sniper Leaderboards, and it was the go-to source for competitive sniping. It had all of the team rankings, videos of clan matches that were well edited, the top 10 best sleight of hand users, and the top 10 best marathon users. Everyone wanted to be on these lists. In the competitive sniping scene, really good players were looked at like gods. That made it so everyone wanted to be on one of the top 10 lists. Sniper Leaderboards also had a website where you would go to find people to do clan tryouts, scrimmages, which were basically just a giant free-for-all of quickscopers on terminal. Or you would go to get a CM, which means clan match. The process of trying out for a clan and finally getting on a decent team to where you could actually compete against other ranked teams was exciting, nerve-wracking, and downright fun as hell. This led us to what this video is about today: Raw Material. Raw Material were gods amongst men in the competitive sniping world. They started on Call of Duty 4, and when they came over to MW2, they couldn't be touched. They were the #1 ranked team out of 50 ranked teams. And keep in mind, there were thousands of people in the competitive space. This is where FaZe Banks, FaZe Rain, FaZe Zuma, and so many more got their start as YouTubers, snipers. I mean, this scene was massive and was battling against the normal 4v4 style tournaments that you see all the Call of Duty pros play today. Raw Material consisted of many insane players throughout his tenure, but the best players by far were RM Jumpy, RM Charisma, and RM Envy. I have yet to see a clan match where all three of these players were in the game and lost. It's been 13 plus years. As you can see from the clips, these guys were insane. They would consistently get multi-kills in games, which is ridiculous because the respawn time is set to 5 seconds on headquarters. And if you're a solo player holding the HQ and can take out the entire enemy team quickscoping, you feel like such a god, especially with your entire team screaming in the background going crazy. Raw Material went up against some of the best teams in competitive sniping history. Notorious Snipers, NS for short, Skies, XGen, Abnormal, Effect, Project 7, and Arrow. Like I said, there were so many great players in the scene that if competitive sniping was around today the way it was back then, I truly believe that's all you would see people play and stream today. And now that might be my nostalgia talking a little bit, but it really was that fun. Back in the day, people didn't have very good capture cards. They would have dazzles and some people would have PVRs, which was like a big deal. If you were going to play a ranked clan match, you had to invite someone who had a capture card to spectate and record the match so you could show proof to sniper leaderboards that you won the match fairly. Each match was the best 2 out of 3 and only people you had on your roster could play. Although a lot of teams did not follow this rule. I mean, if you had RM Jumpy spectating your clan match and you're friends with him and you're losing, you're gonna have him hop in. And since Raw Material was close with sniper leaderboards, they a lot of time would get away with that, but so would other top ranked teams. In big ranked games, the entire game would be full. So you can imagine if the number 1 ranked team is going against the number 2 ranked team, all 16 spots in that game are full and only 8 people are playing in that game. So you just have a bunch of spectators who want to see this match. Problem with this though is some of the spectators for the team they're rooting for, if they started to lose, the spectator would spawn in with like a noob tube and blow up the HQ and destroy everybody. So you had to record these matches so you could provide proof that the other team was cheating or that you won fairly. Raw Material was undefeated for about, I would say 3 to 5 years, if I remember correctly. They had a target on their back and every team wanted that number 1 spot. The game you're about to see is Raw Material's first loss after about half a decade of pure dominance. But in all fairness, they didn't have RM Jumpy in the game, who is arguably the best competitive sniper in history. So like I said at the beginning, I've never seen a match where Jumpy, Envy, and Charisma were in the game together and lost. So do with that what you will. But without further ado, let's dive in. After Raw Material's first loss, this game was spread like wildfire across the competitive sniping community. No one could actually believe it until the video was finally released. It was single-handedly one of the most impactful moments in competitive sniping history, the day these giants fell. Now, keep in mind, Raw Material quickly got this #1 spot back, but for that brief time, history had been made. At this point in the video, you're probably asking, why did competitive sniping fail? What happened? Now, I could give you my reasons on why I think it failed, but I will let someone with better knowledge and understanding of the industry explain.
What are 3 things that competitive sniping needed to be as big as COD esports?
1, for us to stay in it. 2, it would never happen. It's just not a viable thing. It's like a good subculture, and it could still be a thing the same way that Warzone's a thing.
Right.
And look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If let's say FaZe, us back in the day, stayed in that and didn't go into Call of Duty, do you think that viewership wouldn't drown out the viewership of the other thing? It's all about eyeballs, right? And we brought those things. So I don't know. I don't think, one, Activision wouldn't allow it, right? They would shut that down. I mean, at the time, actually, they didn't even give a fuck about regular competitive. So I don't know. Could it have worked? Yeah, but it was too niche, man. I think everybody did the right thing. There's a time
and place for it.
There's a time and place where I think everybody did the right thing and play the game.
Moved on.
It would just have to be the game, bro. The game would have to be snipers. Like COD 4. The sniper.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's gonna beat MW2. The hit detection on that game. Nothing's gonna beat it for sniping.
Community back then was all about sniping.
Way different.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we came in and sort of brought in a fucking massive audience already, and we just converted a lot of people to competitive. So again, he who holds the viewership holds the
narrative.
Like I can name top pros right now, 3 pros that came from competitive sniping.
So can
anyone here? Can you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
LaRue, Zuma.
Yeah. And there's one more. Was on your team. Yes. Exactly.
Look, man,
who's the third one?
Do you see this?
Dashy. You seen him game 5 last night, baby.
Gunjar did too.
That was crazy.
I know everything about the sniper.
4th, bro. Gunjar.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like. Definitely helps me grow the channel, and stay safe out there.